Histórias da Lua. Especial Missões Apollo.
15 minutes into the crisis, you begin to realize you're venting something. Take me back there. When you heard the initial bang, were you concerned?
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
5 guidance. Go guidance. We've had a hardware restart. I don't know what it was.
Okay. Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main B bus undervolt.
You see an AC bus undervolt there, guidance? Or ecom? Negative, flight. I believe the crew reported it. We got a main B undervolt. We may have had an instrumentation problem, flight. Roger.
And we had a pretty large bang associated with the caution and warning there.
Well, the 13 story and the initial bang, of course, is well known, but when it first occurred and we saw that we had a light on one of our fuel cells that died, there was a wave of disappointment, not so much crisis as disappointment, because we knew that one fuel cell would get us home safely. So we thought that maybe we had damage to 2 fuel cells. It wasn't until we saw the oxygen escaping from the rear end of our spacecraft that we knew that.
What kind of leads we can give them? Are we looking at instrumentation, or we got a real problem, or what? We're reading 0 N2 pressure in fuel cell 1 and 13 PSI on fuel cell 3 O2 pressure. Okay, Barrett, what do you want to do? Open circuit fuel cell 1 and 3? That's firm flight.
Shut down the reactance valve, and I asked for reconfirmation, since when you do that, it's sort of irreversible. If you shut one of these things down, they only can be restarted from ground support equipment.
It was not until we really saw the oxygen escaping from the rear end of our spacecraft that we realized that we were in very, very deep trouble. Then we got that sinking feeling, you know, that searing sensation in your stomach when you're in deep trouble and don't know how to get out of it. And we knew that we had to act very rapidly, and that meant that we had forced us into the lunar module. It was very fortunate, though, that I was on Apollo 8, because some of the problems we had to deal with on 13, on 8, I inadvertently, got the computer all fouled up and lost our guidance system, and I had to do it manually. But it was a good test for me, because on 13 we had to do it deliberately to restart the computer and re-get our gyros aligned. So some of that experience I had on 8 really came through on 13.
First milestone, and I consider this after the accident, I guess, more or less the survival now. The first milestone was to get alignment on the LEM platform. Alignments are important, because without knowing exactly which way the attitude of a spacecraft is in space, there's no way to tell how to burn or how to use the engines of that spacecraft to get the proper trajectory to come home.
How big a deal was it to move into the LEM? I mean, was that a huge decision to make?
The movement into the LEM was not a huge decision, because we had no choice. The lunar module was only designed to last 45 hours, only designed to support 2 people. We had 3 people, and we were at least 90 hours from home. So the question was, how do we stretch a vehicle that was never designed to come back home in the first place to support 3 people for 90 hours and with enough propulsion to get us back home again? That was the challenge.
Now, I've talked to you about this before, and I've said, was there ever a point when you were nervous, frightened?
Well, I think in terms of whether we were frightened or panicked, I think that the case of where the explosion first occurred and we knew the seriousness of our situation was a low point of the flight. After we tried to find solutions to the crisis as they came up one by one, and we solved them, we felt more confident as we went along, all the way back 4 days to get back home again.
The biggest moment.
Dê uma força ao AstrosNuTube ao subscrever o canal e dar um gosto no vídeo.